Aki's definitely retiring. Dude was older when we had him.
Yeah, I think he's like 38 now or something.
All right, I think we're live. We're live.
We're live.
Yeah.
Alive! We're back!
Hold on, I'm gonna
Look
turn
at
you
us.
guys up really loud and turn my
Beautiful
microphone
people.
off.
Think about how much wisdom we've gained in the 7+ months since we last met. You know, we're kind of different people. We've gone through different experiences.
Yeah,
We've kind of, I'd say that we all became men, you know?
Yeah, I think
we
we
were
all
but
grew up.
boys before.
I've
You know, we all four of us lost our virginity in that time.
It's true.
Yeah, that was pretty cool because we were all there.
I had a child during that span, so I guess you could say that that's somewhat
Yeah,
accurate.
you had a kid.
I literally did have a kid.
I transitioned
Yeah.
from my 20s to my 30s.
Yeah, that's a big one.
A lot of
Yeah, same
milestones.
for me as well.
Same for you?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, I had big
Grown up.
milestones. I finally cracked my 10,000th beer of the
Oh,
summer.
wow. That's cool that somebody's keeping track
yeah.
for you.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if you kept
Yeah.
track of that.
That's my personal
Is it
assistant.
just like a phone
Well,
app?
and now I'm yeah.
Much
everyone-
cooler.
So no, I pay a guy. His name's Brendan. He's 21, but he's getting a lot of experience.
It's like exposure, right?
So as you can see, it's good exposure. As you guys can see, I'm in an entirely new environment too. This is a strange and confusing land called work, and I'm in a phone booth with no partition between it and the next phone booth. So as we were discussing earlier, it's gonna be really fun when random coworkers walk in there and hear me screaming about horny anime men.
Yeah, you know, sexy pigs. Well, not sexy pigs. But
Sexy pigs.
Sex crave pigs. I guess one could say that Oolong is sexy. It's really not up for me to decide.
He is, you know. I'm not gonna lie. You know, I like what I like. He's a sexy pig.
It's a good-looking ham.
Yeah, he's a good-looking slice of ham right there. Well, this brings us to what we've all gathered here for. It's Dragonball Jug.
Yeah, it's
We're
been a
talking
while.
about episode 7.
Man, the red sweatshirt was not a good.
No, it's good. I thought you were doing like a blue screen thing, so you can look like a disembodied head.
No, I have this thing where I prefer my room to be cold. I like it to be a little bit chilly and then like get warmed up. So because it's like my room is hot as balls, so I have the window open and I'll have that like crisp New England fall air permeating
Ooh,
through.
love that.
So I'm a
Yes.
little chilly, body-wise, but like I'm wearing pajamas to
It's so good to be snug in your jammies.
feeling real good, feeling super jammed
Real
out.
snug in your jammies. And it's just
Do
like,
we know? Do we know when the first episode was? We've probably been going like what 10, 11 months, and we've covered 7 episodes.
I have
Oh,
no
yeah.
idea.
Yeah, we're on a good pace here, I'd say.
To be fair,
You
this,
know.
this was easily the we had that like mini hiatus where we came back and did another episode. Oh, who's running home? Looks like Cubby's run.
Yeah, Brian.
For the fans back home,
Rizzo double.
back in the strange year of 2016, I imagine that this is like what people are going to discover when they
This has been
land
crucial
here
to the
20,000 years
archives
from
of
now.
humans.
Yeah, the first thing they're going to watch when they hit the Earth is Dragon Ball Jug. So there's a strange and mysterious game called baseball happening right now. And two teams who have not won a lot lately are playing each other. It's very invigorating, you know, both emotionally and physically.
Oh, cool, you're all riled up. Good.
Yeah, I'm quite riled. But I want to jump right into it. Folks, I want to jump right into it. All right? I've been deprived of my Dragon Ball for a long time. And as you know, I know nothing about it. I'm extremely pedantic, and I want to know everything about it in extreme detail. So I would like, first of all, a brief reminder of where we last left off. To my memory, we had recently talked about a shape-shifting pig named Oolong, who, as I've just mentioned, is extremely physically attractive to me. Had gotten into a fight with another shapeshifter, but he had won, and I might be back in a few episodes at this point.
I think that's a little bit back. Last episode was when Oolong set up his camper, and then had the whole date rape incident.
Camper date rape, of
Camper
course.
date rape incident. It's a big one.
It's like, when are they going to stop doing this trope?
Oh wait a minute, we might have lost Chuggy there. Yeah, it is. It's a pretty common one. Date rape camps, pigs especially, martial artists, dogs and cats living together. That's. But the last thing I remember specifically was the interaction between Bulma and Long and Puar and Yamcha in the trailer, right? Was that
Yeah, it was all in the trailer. They were heading out to see the Ox King. Is the last thing that that had happened in the
Yogsking.
previous
Right.
episode.
Yes.
This
So
is
that's
the
where we are.
subject of this episode.
Indeed.
Questionable stuff is going on now.
Questionable things.
It's been a
But
while,
that's sort of what
obviously.
this is all about.
So what exactly happened in the trailer?
Just one more way, Dragonball Jug is like the Matrix. Sorry. Okay, wait. So some crazy things are happening in the trailer.
Yeah.
Looks like there's date rape.
Yeah, something. He turned into. Who did Oolong turn into? I don't remember. It's been so long.
There's a lot of
He turned.
hard
Yeah.
to explain. He
Not man,
turns-
can you turn up your mic a little bit? Is that a possibility? Just scream as loud as you can. One or the other. I'm really cool with both, though. If you want to go with screaming, I'd like that especially. I will say that now I recall the most recent episode. I remember that it involved a lot of people going into trailers they were not supposed to be in. I remember trailers pretty well when it comes to TV shows. I keep an eye out for them. I also keep an eye out for unwanted sexual contact, particularly in the context of trailers.
Seems like you're constantly vigilant.
So this was like all of my signals were going off at once, and now I'm very excited to find out how our heroes made it out of this mess.
Yeah, so I remember them being in there, but I don't remember why they were attempting to infiltrate the trailer. Can we kind of refresh my memory upon that? Like, what was going on? I want to have
Think
some-
it
Yeah, there was Goku, Bulma, and Oolong were all staying in the trailer, and Yamcha and Puar were outside trailing them because they were trying to get the Dragon Balls.
Right.
Like,
So
think about
then-
times that you personally have invaded other people's trailers. It's like, what was your motivation? And first you're gonna be like, oh, obviously naked ladies. Like,
Naked ladies.
yeah, that's what was happening.
Trying to find a weed stash, that sort of thing, right?
That's another good reason. Or like porn in the woods.
That's the thing that people will never experience ever again.
I know. It breaks my heart. It
Actually-
still breaks my heart that people will no longer discover pornography hidden in the woods.
I wonder.
It could just be like geocaching where you find like thumb drives of it or something.
Yeah.
The future of it.
Yep.
Is my
So-
mic working now?
Yes,
you
you
hear me
sound
there?
great. Sound fantastic.
All right,
So-
awesome.
I would like to hear about how episode 7 opens up.
I could tell you
so would
Just set the
because
scene for me.
So
I
would
watched
I.
it this
Try to be
morning.
really evocative here because it helps when there's like sensory details.
I think it opens up with Oolong, Bulma, and Goku are just driving in their car, heading towards the Ox King. Well, they're heading towards the what do they call it in English? It's Mount Frypan. The
Right.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
like really
Fire Mountain.
smoky and shit.
Yeah, something
Fire
like that.
Mountain.
because they see
Oh
it.
yeah, and I was livid
uh,
about this. I was livid about this. Why call it Fire Mountain? You could call it Firing Pan Mountain. Again, as you guys know, big fan of sensory details. And you get something like Frying Pan. I'm like, all right, cool. I can picture this. I know what's going on. But clever name.
You
You hear
the
Mount
artist to paint
Fire.
a mental picture.
Yeah,
Just the
mental
words.
picture. I've got it. It's not a literal frying pan. I was an English major in college. I understand what metaphors are, and
That degree has been put to good use.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm specifically using on this podcast. This is what I trained for. This is
Mount
what all those long
Fire.
hours.
Fire Mountain's a little uninspired.
It's uninspired. I'm uninspired by it, but it's okay. It's all right. I'm gonna let it slide this time.
Yeah.
But they're on their way to Smoky Pan Mountain, and they're in their Volvo, and I imagine that the events of last night have chilled them all to the bone.
I don't even think they mention it.
Yeah, they just walk it off.
yeah,
It
they're all in
seems to be like
denial.
a thing
Yeah,
that
the only
happens.
the only
Oh,
thing that happens that's like a slight callback is I think they get to, like closer to the mountain. They're like, oh, that's where the Ox King lives, and Oolong is kind of panicking because he's supposed to be this big intimidating figure and he wants to run away. And they do that piggy thing that makes him shit himself. So he runs.
It's like the most
He
Runs behind
hates
a
that.
boulder.
He hates it when he shits himself.
It was something different in Japanese because I had to watch it dubbed today, but I don't remember
P,
what
P,
it
P.
was.
It was
Yeah,
P, P, P.
Oh yeah.
That also works.
makes less sense.
On the other hand, that feels uninspired to me. So point to the Japanese for the frying pan. Point to the Americans for piggy. PPP is just like, come on, you can do more syllables than that.
Right.
We've got time. What are we in a rush?
Oolong
so-
is the only one who knows who Ox King is, right? Like, he's-
Initially, but we later find out that Goku had
Now, hold
trained.
on.
All right, sorry.
Because
to it.
we got to get there. We got a ways to walk. You got to walk the path to Frying Pan Mountain.
We'll make a mental note. We'll come back to it. We'll circle back.
Yeah. So they're on their way. They're having a conversation. Everyone's having a good time. It's a road trip. But what are they doing on the trip? What does it look like? Where are they headed? What's happening?
Well, one thing
They're in the car.
I remember from this episode is like they're debating whether like it's named literally or not, right?
Yeah, they were talking about it because something, I don't remember what it was, but something had happened to the mountain. Like, it used to just be a regular mountain, and the Ox King's castle was on top of it, but now the Ox King has to live on the bottom of it, and he can't get to his castle anymore.
They're a lot like us. 4 intellectuals traveling through this crazy, mixed-up world, just trying to make sense of it all.
It's true.
Yeah. I guess we're kind of heroes too. But anyway, I'm not. That's not for me to say.
Yeah.
I guess that's for our fans to say.
We'll let the people decide.
Yeah. But so they're headed to there. They're having a pretty deep philosophical debate, and it's probably opening a lot of eyes. It's sort of like the film The Matrix, but they're on their way to Firing Pan Mountain, talking about whether it's literal. You can see this. They all look great.
Riding a Fiat 500.
Yeah, riding a Fiat or a similar
like a
modestly sized mid-sized vehicle. I don't want to say a Mini because it didn't look like it had that BMW suspension that really defines the Mini Cooper.
No, it's vaguely Italian.
Great value.
Yeah.
Vaguely Italian.
Is it one of those hovering cars, or are we still regular wheeled vehicles?
Yeah,
It's very much grounded in reality.
It's a car for the people, This isn't a pretentious, highfalutin car putting on airs, putting airs on the ground so that it can lift up, anything like that.
Why are they going to Fire Mountain? I don't even remember.
There's a Dragon Ball there, so they have a radar heading towards it. That's everything in this show is.
Bulma wants a boyfriend.
Maybe there's one on the mountain.
Yeah, maybe there's one on the mountain. Yeah, there's that. But worst case scenario, she doesn't get a boyfriend, but there is a Dragon Ball there, which brings her closer to her plan of using Dragon Ball to get a boyfriend.
Yes.
Which are hard to get to in this life. Unlike real life, where it is easy to acquire.
Arguably, it's probably easier just to find a boyfriend and not find these 7 Dragon Balls.
Yeah, we've gone into this, and I think it depends on what caliber. It's like, are there any good men really left out there?
I don't know, not in New York City.
This was 30 years ago.
You're taken.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what I learned from popular culture.
That's what I've learned.
For somebody who's never lived in New York, that's one of the few things I know about New York City. It's really hard to find a good single guy there.
There must be a million stories in the city.
It's probably true. So no, I just remembered you were talking about girlfriends. This is also the episode where we meet Chi-Chi, right?
Oh yeah,
Chi-Chi's
now it's about to get hot in here.
Yeah, it cuts from the car scene to Chi-Chi running away from a T-Rex that's chasing her, and she has this sort of hat on that has like a blade sticking out at the top of it.
Yeah,
she takes off the blade, throws it at the dinosaur, cuts its head clean off, and then it kind of boomerangs back onto her head. And then she shoots a laser out of her forehead. There's like a little light. And it just blows up the rest of the dinosaur.
Yep.
That's Chi-Chi's introduction.
Chi-Chi's like packing heat, and you never see her use that crap like from like the rest of it. I guess she's not she's more of an ancillary character in Dragon.
Doesn't she fight in the tournaments at a later time as well? I think.
She's still sort of an ancillary character, though.
That's true. Yeah, it's a good point, actually.
It's a good thing all the dinosaurs are dead on our planet, because consider how laborious it would be to behead them.
Well, also,
it seemed pretty easy with that boomerang.
Well, not all of us have, boomerang hats. It's basically like her and Liu Kang from Mortal Kombat.
Their dinosaur situation is way different because they have dinosaurs that can speak. Like talking
some that don't.
We have talked about this. This is confusing. Some of them have sentience, some of them don't. Some of them it's okay to murder. Some of it's fucked up.
Yeah, it's very goofy Pluto. Like the rules are not clear.
Yeah. My basic thing is if an animal cannot speak English, specifically English, like if you can speak like, I don't know, like French Sign Language, then that doesn't count, and you deserve to die.
It's like pretty obscure. Yeah, I mean, it's possible to think it's. I don't
That's
know,
basically my sense.
I don't know that we've ever encountered a Dragon Ball dinosaur that does French.
Or any sign language for that matter, and that's why they all deserve to die.
Yeah.
So she has basically taught this T-Rex what's what.
Yeah.
And we can tell that this is really a no-nonsense bitch.
Yeah, she's badass for sure.
Yeah.
But like, not really.
I know. I
though,
think she
she's-
still like breaks down crying
Yeah,
afterwards,
she's
even
running
though.
away in fear. She does this out of like reflex, right? She's-
Do you
Yeah.
think that that's like sort of she's been trained to be scared of her own strength, like so many women in our culture?
I don't know. I think it's because her dad is so powerful, and then
really
I'm Matt
breaking down
McGorry.
glass ceilings.
I don't know. They
Yeah.
she's described as like doesn't the Ox King describe her as a coward? That's true, right?
Yeah, but he seems like a real piece of work, you know?
I don't know how he describes her, but he did send her out on her own to find Roshi by herself, so he at least has.
Is
some
that why
faith
she's
in her
out? Do
ability
we
not-
find this out very shortly thereafter?
Yeah. She's out looking for Roshi because he has something that can put out the fire on the mountain.
Does she declare this like right after murdering the dinosaur? She's like crying, and then she like looks into the camera and she's like, "I need to find
No.
Master Roshi. He has something I can use to put out Frying Pan Mountain."
I think it's just
No,
like
the-
Grease fire, and like
exposition
grease
dump
fire,
on
you need,
behalf of,
like you can't just pour water on it.
Who does she run into
No,
first?
she was that.
Because she has two separate encounters. She encounters. I would imagine
She
encounters Goku
immediately-
first, right?
No, immediately after the dinosaur encounter, she runs into Yamcha and Puar, and she gets startled and tries to shoot her laser at Yamcha, and Yamcha kind of dodges it and just
Ooh,
knocks her out
Yamcha.
cold. Just
Wait.
like elbows her in the forehead, and she's out.
But where? Because
That's
Yamcha
classic
is
Yamcha. in my
following-
opinion.
following them, right? Like he's tailing them.
He,
So are they
yeah,
already-
he,
Yeah, he's still
Yeah.
wicked horny from the
Yamcha-
encounter in the trailer.
Yeah, he's smitten.
You know,
He's very much. in
he's,
love.
he's
never
got
got
blue balls. He's trying to get rid of him.
He never
He's,
got a piece.
He's tailing the rest, Goku and them to get the balls, and then he sees.
Okay, so
She-
what
With his
I'm
good
getting
buddy
at-
Puar.
So what I'm
Indeed.
getting at is that if that's the case, then Goku has already encountered the Ox King in this current timeline that we're just.
I think it goes from them just on the. I can't remember what comes first in the episode,
they-
but they have it
People's
right
buddies
there.
always just coming
right next to
along
each other.
without question and stuff. Like Puar is Yamcha's little buddy, right? Yamcha's got a thing. He's like, "Oh, come on, man! I really want to bang this girl Boma. Come on an adventure with me."
Yep.
And Puar's just like, "Yeah, I got nothing going on. I'll come on an adventure with you because you
Yeah,
want
it's
to
like-
bang
it's
this
like-
chick.
It's like a teen.
Whatever. I don't have my own life."
No, they're living together. They don't, right? They just live in the desert. They got nothing.
Yeah, they live at
Yeah, I guess
the bandit kingdom in the desert.
Is that what it means to be a
Yeah.
bandit? Can you just like go on adventures with your pals when they're having one?
I think so. I think that's exactly what it
The
means to be
fuck?
a bandit.
I go to work every day. This is bullshit. I need to become a bandit.
You have to go, proper channels. There's tests you have to take and school.
Just like imagine this. Anytime my buddy goes on like a fun adventure, like trying, bird dogging some chick, and then I could be like tailing with him, basically like being the wiseacre sidekick, and just supporting his adventures, and then like making sure that he makes it to her in time. This seems like a good deal.
You could be that
You
guy.
need some kind of
Yeah.
useful ability like shape shifting or
You could be
something.
the Sean Williams
Yeah, well,
guy.
that would be good. I sincerely doubt I'll
that's,
bring anything to the table.
That is a
but
quality
I'll
wingman
try.
material to have.
Hey, you could be the
So-
the Stifler to the other guy from American Pie or Euro Trip. or
That's
whatever
me.
those movies are.
Just the stifler in the lives of all my friends.
Yeah, the bandit. The sexy sexual bandit.
Yeah, I don't really have much agency of my own. I'm basically just around to help out people.
So,
Well, I,
for
how
one-
do they meet each other? Man, how do the Ox King and Goku? come
Oh,
acquainted?
I can't be the stuntman in this episode.
Oh yeah,
I,
folks.
I skipped out on this one.
Oh, nice.
He was out on
Great
he was
Fox
out on it.
right?
For those of you who've been wondering where we were, Stuntman was out in Japan training for his
Right.
true destiny, and he's been there this entire time, and he has not had time to watch the all episodes.
I literally
because-
just got back 10 minutes ago.
He got back 10 minutes ago just in time for the podcast.
From Japan.
He was like, I just landed, and I text back to like, okay, so like 5 minutes, and he was like, it's gonna be more like 10. I was like, did you call an Uber yet? And he was like, yeah, it's like 3 minutes away. I was like, that usually means like either 1 or 5. And he wrote back like, yeah, I know, it's really annoying with Ubers like that. And I was like, oh, I hope you don't get that one that's like starts and stops like a lot. It's like really drives you nuts. And then you texted me back. You were like, the Uber's cool. He lets me like play my music. I was like, what music are you listening to? And you were like, I'm listening to like the 5th song on Burial's 2nd album. And I was like, that's the worst possible music. This guy hates you right now. And you were like, yeah, he's like shaking his head and he's wicked mad. I can tell. And I was like, all right, well, let me know when you're ready to start the episode.
And now we're
So that's the story of Stuntman's adventure in Japan.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Yep.
That was.
Yeah. Well, that's what happened. Anyway, it was tough on me.
Why were you?
I think that wraps up the episode.
So, but here we are, and my understanding is that like
Why were you in Japan?
he was training. We went over there.
Yeah.
Say praying or training?
So that's the training, and then there was that whole thing with the Uber.
Oh, okay.
But
No, I really
He,
wanted to get the really authentic Dragon Ball Z watching experience.
Nice.
You know, I've been
Yeah.
watching it in Japanese, but I decided to take it one step further and watch it in Japanese in Japan.
Sound
And so-
mind type of thing, right? Where you just put yourself in the.
Right.
Okay.
So now
It's all
I'm
about
I'm a-
immersion.
You're like a method caster.
Right. So I was.
Yeah.
I'm official an authority on it. So
Okay. How's the baseball game going?
We are up 1-0 in the
yeah,
top of the first. It's the bottom of the
don't
first.
tell
inning.
my girlfriend I said yeah. She's an Indians fan.
Weird.
I know.
So
it's weird.
so how do they get introduced? So what's the deal? How do Goku and the Ox King and Co. come?
They show up at the base of the mountain, and they see on the radar, hey, there's definitely a Dragon
handle
Ball
of the frying pan.
on top of the on top of the mountain, and they're kind of wandering around. It's kind of like
You got the
I can always-
thingamajig? Because you just got the thingamajig? Okay, you just got the
Yeah.
thingamajig. You can tell when
Thingamajig.
the Dragon Ball's on. Okay.
And they're kind of wandering around. It looks like an abandoned town, I guess, because of the fires. And they just run into the Ox King. Well, Oolong keeps telling them, they're like, oh, he's this dangerous, enormous, strong guy. And then he pops out.
That's what they say about me.
And Bulma, I don't remember what excuse is, but she didn't tell them they were looking for the Dragon Ball. And then Goku's like, oh yeah, we're trying to find this thing. And then he calls them thieves. So the Ox King.
Who calls who thieves?
The Ox King calls Goku and the gang
Oh, whoa,
thieves.
shots fired.
Okay, so
And then he,
basically these guys are walking in. All right?
Mhm.
You know, here's the whole gang's here. So like, what are we doing here? What's happening? Everyone's giving their piece, and they're talking crap about this big lumbering oaf, the Ox King, and his dumbass frying pan that he lives in. And they're, lo and behold, Ox King's looking at them the whole time. I mean, how embarrassing is this?
Well, he's-
You know, they've
he's the
been
king
caught
of the mountain.
red-handed.
What kind of dude is just? He's got surveillance, right?
Definitely.
Guy's
A
got
king?
no- Yeah.
You think he can't afford that Nest shit looking in on everyone? No, he's got it.
People don't. Rob.
People don't understand how much money kings make.
No, definitely not. Well,
Like
I
people
mean,
talk
yeah.
about like, oh, I'm gonna go into tech, I'm gonna go into finance. I'm starting. Have you even thought about becoming a king?
No, I'm not qualified.
Because like the money you bring in, I don't know. Anyway, you know, this isn't. I'll save my financial advice for my other podcast, Jug Wishes Money Mouse.
talking sense.
Yeah, I bought a URL today, mouse.money. It's you can buy .money things, and I think my concept for it is like it's a website that you go to learn about really small currency from around the world. It's mouse.money.
Next big thing.
So basically, King Ox
Yeah,
is like,
you
what
got-
the fuck's
You
going
got
on
the
in my
drop
house?
on them. They're the jig
Yeah,
is up.
his immediate reaction to finding out they're thieves is he pulls out an axe and tries to hit Goku with it, who's like a 12-year-old child.
God,
It's
you
a pretty intense reaction to like a child breaking into your house. It's
Well,
just
you know,
immediately trying
and
to-
Different
people have been
countries have
asking
very
us.
different kind of responses towards theft. Some being like much more extreme than other places than others.
This is
One
kind
of
of
the
like
questions.
standard
One of the questions
round.
we get a lot from fans. One of the questions we get a lot from fans is how we feel about child abuse, and specifically how we feel about hitting children with axes. And I just want everyone to know,
who's asking this?
the fans
fans.
mostly.
Lost Divine.
We got it. We got a lot. Yeah, lots of being that that sniveling little pile of shit lost to being.
Ignorant.
I just want everyone to know. I want everyone to know on the record that none of us, not any one of us 4 dudes, support assaulting children with axes on their head, on any other part of their body.
Yeah, I don't condone
I'm
it
not.
at all.
No. Just don't.
No, not even in this stand your ground situation.
No.
I mean, if he shot him, that's fine. But
Okay,
axe
if
is
a
little-
child has
that's a
shot
little
you
barbaric.
already,
Well, if
bury
you
it.
remember that he does get shot in the very first episode multiple times.
Sure.
Yeah, he just walks it off like it's
That's
no big
true.
deal.
Well, and I guess like he was protecting his property.
But what if the baby has an axe?
Well, if the kid
He has
has
a
an
power
axe
pole.
as well, or if the kid is making like a hand motion that like looks like a shock, that feels like a threat.
Like this?
So I can see, yeah, like I can see why you would need to hit a child in the head with an axe.
Still don't see it,
Okay,
no.
so let me rephrase this. I would say that there are, more than 50% of the time it's not okay to hit a child in the head with an axe.
Easy.
Yeah, just,
Easy money.
yeah, anyway.
Free.
So for the most part, just try not to do it. But in this case, Goku could take it. That's my guess, though.
I don't think he actually hits him. Goku dodges it, right?
No, yeah, he dodges a bunch, kind of fight a little bit, and then the Ox King notices his power pole, I think, and he's like, "Oh, hey, where'd you get that power pole?"
Yeah,
And it turns out he's like, "Oh, my grandpa Gohan gave it to me," and I think the Ox King and Gohan used to train together, so they were
Yeah.
like, "Oh, let's be friends," and that puts an end to the old axe thing.
That's an end to the axe incident entirely.
That
And thank God. Folks, we might want to bury the hatchet.
That was worse than mine. Mine was bad.
Well,
Yeah.
so they're talking, they're pals now. Basically this whole Ox King thing, we thought we were setting up for disaster. I did at least.
That's a
Walking
pretty
into
quick
this, I was like,
resolution. They just like talk it over.
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh, no hard feelings. He seems like a
gosh, if
pretty
only
rational
everything
dude.
could end like that.
Yeah, right.
I mean, could we just get Israel and Palestine together in a room? And, and I don't want to get political here, folks,
As
but
long as their grandfathers knew each other, I'm sure it's
Yeah.
pretty
know.
cool.
I don't know.
I have it on I've heard talks that Israel and Palestine know each other.
I heard that
Same
too.
grandfather.
I heard that too. It was I watched this really good documentary actually. I know like we're not supposed to get serious here, but I was watching this movie called
Loose change.
no, it's called
Dark Knight
Don't Mess with
Rises.
the Zohan.
Called what?
Don't Mess with the Zohan.
Oh, Don't Mess with the Zohan. Oh, good. I've actually never seen that movie.
Yeah.
It's really bad, probably,
Well,
right?
Well, no, I mean basically it lays it out pretty simply. Basically all Israelis want to dress hair, and all Palestinians are the guy from the night of. And
What do we do without Adam Sandler?
I don't know. I'm probably I'd be
be just
dead by
fine.
now.
probably,
We'd all be dead.
probably things wouldn't be that much different at all.
Yeah, no,
that's
probably
a
things
terrible
wouldn't be
thing
too
to
much
say about
different.
Adam
Yeah.
Sandler. Adam Sandler, you changed the world, maybe in sort of a positive way.
I mean, he made me who I am today because
Yeah.
Adam Sandler's my dad.
I think
But anyway, so they have this great encounter. They're really bonding. They're bonding over grandfathers. I mean, who hasn't had that experience?
all of
Where
us,
you
I
just
think.
talk about grandfathers. That thing where you just go to a bar and you're just like, hey, bro, do you have a grandfather? Bro, tell me about your grandpa. Where's your pop-pop?
Oh, what did you call your grandfather? Did you call your grandfather or your papa?
No, I call my grandpa Papa.
Dad, papa.
Well, I had Papa, but I also had Grandpa. But Grandpa died before I was born, which makes sense. He was an alcoholic. So that's what happens when you drink,
Yeah,
a
my-
liter of whiskey a day.
One of my grandpas, I don't remember him because he died when I was 2. I don't know what I called him. My other grandpa we called Deda, which is the Serbian word for grandfather.
There you go.
Which I didn't connect the dots in that until like 2 years ago, which
Really?
is super. Yeah, I just never
I
thought
didn't
about
know
it because
was
you
a
grow up.
French thing.
We all just grew up calling him that for our lives,
Yeah.
and then just never like, hey, what's this? What's this mean?
Yep, I had
You know?
papa, 2 nanas, and I never met my mom's dad.
What do you think Goku would call the Ox King? If he was his grandpa.
Bro.
Grandpa.
Broski. I mean, he was pretty much his father-in-law later.
Big Ernie.
What did they wear at the wedding? Anyway, so so they're having a conversation and they're really getting along great. I imagine Bulma's like, "Hey, this is swell, but if I don't get my Dragon Ball soon, my goose is cooked."
Yeah, it's like they have like a situation where it's like a you scratch my back, I scratch your back kind of thing, right?
Really?
Well, yeah, because they need to get the Dragon Ball, but they can't get into the mountain because it's on fire, so they need...
Well, Grey Fox, you're our official stuntman here. Tell me what happened.
I'm going to tell you what happens. At some point in that exchange, they bring up Master Roshi as well. And
love the Roche.
he says that Chi-Chi, Ox King's daughter, is out right now trying to find Master Roshi because he has this fan that can put out the fire on the mountain.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So that's what she was doing.
Yeah.
And then, Goku says, "Oh, hey, we know Roshi. We know where he lives. We can go grab it for you." And then in exchange, they'd get the Dragon Ball. And the Ox King says, "Hey, while you're out there, if you see my daughter, pick her up." And then he's like, "Hey, she's about your age. Maybe you guys can get married."
Oh, really? Isn't
So it's
that
getting pretty serious.
I'm pretty sure that's the part where he calls her a coward, too.
He's like, "Hey, why don't you fuck my coward daughter?"
No, he went to go find Mr. Roshi, but she's a bit of a coward. She might have got lost.
You know what you'd love to do? Find my daughter, right? So marry her. She is a coward. Keep that in mind. She's on a search for an old horny man. He lives on a turtle.
Whether she knows it or
so
not.
go
Actually,
find her.
wow.
This is some normal shit.
I didn't even consider that because the Ox King was trained by Master Roshi, so he certainly is aware of his kind of like, vaguely predatory behavior when it comes to women.
Sends his young daughter out
His
there.
only daughter.
Yeah, what?
Did he just determine that maybe she's just like a little too young?
It's wild how irresponsible everyone is in this world. Okay?
Goku's the most responsible person, which is kind of insane.
Yeah, Goku's the most responsible person, and he is a sex-crazed preteen. The world of Dragon Ball is fucking chaos.
The horniest place on Earth. That's definitely
It's the horniest planet in existence. But here we are. This is what we have. So they go off. They're trying to find the beautiful young virgin Chi-Chi.
Well, is that like the specific quest? Is he supposed to go see Master Roshi, or is he supposed to go see?
I think he just says, I think the Ox King just says, "Hey, you'll see her because she's on her way, so pick her up."
Gotcha.
I don't think it's like a, "Hey, go look for her," and then I think it's just kind of a, "Hey, you'll run into her in the wilderness." And she doesn't even know where he lives, and he lives, granted, on a tiny island, like miles out in the ocean. Like, how the fuck is she gonna get there in the first place?
Yeah, they don't really.
And the Ox King should know that, but
again, some more negligence from the Ox King here.
it's just like, "Hey, build a raft or something, you'll find it."
Like Goku at least has a cloud, so he can fly around NBD.
Right.
Oh, it's the cloud. Goku is flying around on the cloud, and the Ox King is like, "Hey, I know a guy that has one of those," and that's how they end up talking about.
So they're having a conversation. He's flying around his cloud. They're all having a good time, and he's like, "You just reminded me. I sent my virgin daughter off to meet a very horny old man
Weeks ago.
to pick up a trinket. Would you go find her?"
And he's just like, "Sure, like no big deal."
Yeah.
What a guy.
So, what? So where do we go from here? What's?
So Yamcha overhears them because he's tailing them. So he's hiding behind a wall, overhearing the conversation.
What a creep.
And then he's like, "Oh shit, that's the
Classic
girl.
Yamcha, in my opinion.
That's the girl that I knocked unconscious and left out near those dinosaurs. She could be dead."
Who hasn't
So he
said
goes
that?
to find her, wakes her up, and then just leaves because he's gonna wait for them to go get the fan, put out the fire, get the Dragon Ball, and then he's gonna steal all the Dragon Balls. So Yamcha's just waiting now. So he kind of just puts the wheels in motion.
Oh yeah, the wheels. God damn.
I forgot that he assaulted Chi-Chi. Or did Chi-Chi attack first?
Yeah, it was right after the dinosaur. She tried to shoot Yamcha with a laser, and he dodged it, gave her the old elbow to the forehead, knocked her out cold.
Get
left her
ruined.
there.
like we
those.
covered earlier, this is a stand your ground situation. Somebody fires at you.
Little
you're
girl comes
perfect
at you.
in
You're
constitutional
in your
rights.
full rights to take her out.
And this is why I believe so strongly in concealed carry. It's like at any moment, I might be assaulted or my property might be taken away from me. And, that's why I carry a fully automatic weapon with me at work.
Or your country might be taken away from you.
Uh-huh. Yeah, exactly. I work at a preschool, too.
Why does Chi-Chi attack Yamcha?
I think she kind of gets startled because it's while she's running away from the dinosaur that she had just
Right.
killed. And then just kind of is like, oh, here's two
She's like coming
strange
to
men.
terms to the fact that
Here's a
she's
strange
murderer.
man talking to a cat.
Killed a beautiful sentient being, and she knows that this will like really fuck with her conscience for the rest of her life.
Seems very rude to just attack anything that comes near you
Yep.
just because you're kind of nervous. But
They did actually. There was a movie that recreated this scene. Have you guys ever seen Irreversible?
no,
Jesus Christ.
I don't know. What's
Yeah.
irreversible?
Okay, never mind.
I've seen it.
No.
I don't think that's another podcast we could do. Is just
Yep.
break down Irreversible.
Yeah, we.
I'm actually really curious now.
It's a movie that
I'll
kind
tell
of
you about it when
plays.
you're older.
It plays in reverse, so like the end happens first, but like a dude murders someone in a club, and then they kind of backtrack to find out what had happened.
So, like,
That
it's
led
not
up to that.
It's pretty graphic.
Yeah,
Let's
very
let's
graphic.
say that.
Okay.
So she's on her way back. Her entire life is over. She knows it because of the horrible crime she committed, and she runs into Yamcha. And Yamcha, of course, as we know, is just another resident horn dog of this crazy, fucked up planet that should never be. And they have an interaction, is what I assume.
Well, she knocks, or he knocks her out, right?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
when he comes
her
back for her, Gray Fox, doesn't he have like a really questionable explanation for why he knocked her out? think
He does. I don't remember what it was specifically though.
I think he just says that he loves her so much, which is the reason he knocked her out.
Because then we get into that whole like the whole thing that all the women in the show are just like, as soon as they hear someone is interested in them or loves them, they get all emotional, and she's kind of like, oh my god, I can't believe he loved me,
Oh,
that kind of thing. Yeah.
Love isn't easy.
Credit to the writers there.
Yeah, I mean, really. They tackle the hard issues, and that's kind of why people keep coming back to Dragon Ball, year over year, is that it really just takes on the issues that are current and present in the lives of all humans. Being horny. That's it.
How much older?
Um,
How much older is Yamcha than Chi-Chi though? Like significantly.
Old
right?
enough.
Yeah.
I
they
would imagine Chi-Chi and Goku are probably like 12. I don't know that Yamcha's age is established.
Yeah, we kind of we
Better.
crossed that bridge in a previous episode, right? About how the ages are pretty nebulous.
Yeah, he's
Number,
probably
number.
late teens.
And nothing but a number.
Yeah.
Oh geez. So, at what point does Goku catch up to Chi-Chi? Does that happen in this episode?
Yeah, they show up
it
like
happens-
immediately after that.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
So-
he shows up like immediately afterwards, and then Goku says, "Hey, I know the Ox King," and she's like, "Oh, cool." And then immediately is like, "Oh, hey, are you in love with me also?"
Oh jeez.
Yeah.
And he's like,
She's
I
got
don't know what you're
suitors.
talking about."
Can't blame him. I mean, a fine woman like that.
Well, yeah,
who can
she's-
decapitate a dinosaur in
It's
such
got a lot
swift
going
actions.
for her, for sure.
You need to lock that down. This is what I tell my friends when they meet a woman who can decapitate an animal
Yeah,
like
she's
that.
very
You need to lock
athletically
that
talented.
down.
Comes from a successful family.
Yeah, exactly. As you guys know, I'm basically just a sidekick, and so that's what I tell my friends. They're like, I don't know, man. It's like Stacy's great, and I'm like, dude, you saw her decapitate that beast. Lock that down. That's my job.
You'd be a great sidekick in a movie, I think, for sure.
That's what I do.
That's what you do.
Kind of my whole thing. So
Chi-Chi or Goku kind of lands. I'm watching it here now. Goku lands on the cloud and invites Chi-Chi to hop on board, and he warns her, well, you have to be pure heart to ride the Nimbus.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm looking at the subtitles here. It says, "No problem that my heart's as clean as a flush toilet."
Whoa.
Relatable.
That's
Because I've seen toilets before.
some elegant wordplay right there.
I've definitely flushed a toilet before, so I
But
get that.
Chi-Chi's right though, right? She is able to ride the cloud, correct?
Yeah, she gets on it. She pulls herself up by holding onto his tail,
Oh shit.
which he freaks out, falls on the ground, and says, "Hey, don't grab my tail. It makes me powerless." And Yamcha nearby overhears it.
Ooh la
He's
la,
like,
yeah.
"Oh,
That's the initial revelation, right? That
Yeah, I was
he
gonna
is-
say,
Yeah,
up until
I
that
think
point,
so.
did we know that Goku's
This is big.
tail is his weak point? Because that's a big deal.
I think Bulma or something has grabbed it before, but I don't think
that's
like
right.
Yamcha has seen it or known to exploit it. At least.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, we
that's so
got
scary.
So-
So scary to think about.
Okay, so she's jumped on, but he has warned her about the tail. Yamcha's been notified about that. I imagine he's going to want to act on this.
He says he's gonna wait for them to come back and then attack them when they get the next Dragon Ball with his Wolfgang fist,
Scoundrel.
which he mentions every episode at least 3 or 4
Yeah,
times.
he loves talking
You've got a
about
Wolfgang
it.
fist. If I had a Wolfgang fist, I'd talk about it too. I think we've gone over this, but just to reiterate. So where do they go on that little magical?
This part was pretty great. They kind of well, first of all, before we get to that, they're on the cloud riding around,
Mhm.
and
Very
Goku
romantic.
does his
Kind of
traditional,
like that Aladdin scene.
almost exactly the same.
You know that
Yeah.
racist. You know that one part in Aladdin that's racist.
No,
It was
Which
that part. Yeah.
The
Yeah, so
Remember the
Goku
racist
does
section of
his,
Aladdin
his
that
traditional.
began at section 00 and ends at 154. But yeah, sorry, continue.
Goku does his patented crotch pat and says like, "Oh, hey,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
you're a girl
It's the
because you don't
best
have a
move.
penis."
The best move.
I know.
And,
yeah, it's called the Donald Trump. Hey, folks, we got
Oh,
ourselves an
wow.
election going. And I just want to say to all the fans out there, folks, you just got to go out and vote for Donald Trump. So he grabs her by the pussy, and they fly off.
They fly off and they're saying, "Hey, I know he lives somewhere over here." They don't know exactly where, so they're gonna stop and ask directions. So the very next scene is them in the Nimbus hovering over water with a dolphin that's like halfway up out of the water, and they're just asking the dolphin like, "Hey, do you know where Master Roshi lives?" And they're just like, and the dolphin responds and is like, "Yeah, he lives like a couple miles in that direction."
Nice, that's
So
cool.
they head
Dolphins are
off
helpful.
and land on the island, and that's where the episode ends.
Beautiful. That's fantastic.
Yeah, thank God for that dolphin.
Oh, thank God for that dolphin. I also want to say that we maybe made record time on this. Now, we normally never land within an hour.
Oh
What
my
did we
God,
learn
yeah.
in this episode?
This
Nothing.
episode was
It's like
kind
a
of
filler
a filler.
episode, yeah, it sounds like.
I don't
Well, yes, but there were some important revelations. It might
characters met. We got the tail grab.
we meet what might be the single non-horny male character in the entire series, the Ox King.
Yeah, he's actually just
I don't-
really sucked on his daughter getting married. He just wants to throw a wedding.
Yeah,
It is the
which is like
opposite. He's
horny
gonna
by
throw in her
proxy, but I'm gonna
balls.
give it a pass.
You think he's like living out his horniness vicariously through his daughter, is what you're saying?
Like, I think that there's a strong chance of it. I don't want to blame him because like everyone else is so direct and like crude and animalistic about their horniness in this show. That like I want to give him a pass on this.
So what you're saying is that there's a little nuance to his predatory.
Yeah, his is a little bit more complicated, and he's adult. Everyone else has the horniness of a 13-year-old. And we also learned that Goku can be disabled if he were to lose his magical monkey tail.
Oh yeah, that
This
is.
is a
I
pretty
guess that's
important
important
plot
for
point.
that for sure.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yamcha
weird.
learned it.
You don't really encounter many episodes in Dragon Ball seasons. In Dragon Ball Z, it happens like all the time, but in Dragon Ball, there aren't too many like filler type episodes. Usually, everything.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point.
At least so far this season has been like very kind of plot related. It's like the
in Z they actually, they draw everything out. That's kind of like the thing that people talk about. But
there's
in
like 40
Dragon Ball,
episodes.
a lot.
Yeah,
Like it took us so long to get through other stuff because there was so many things happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're getting
I
close.
think now
right?
it's pretty cut and dry, straightforward for a while.
Yeah.
We're getting close. How many Dragon Balls does the gang have in their possession right now?
I think they have 6. I think this next one is 7.
Oh.
Because
Yeah, I
it's a
think
one ball per
Right.
episode, I think. So far.
But then they have to get to the 8th. Ooh, I think it's gonna be drawn out
Yeah.
because they didn't actually get the Dragon Ball, did they? Or
No,
they got it?
Not
not
yet.
that
They get it when they bring it back. Okay.
There's only 7. There's no 8.
Ugh, wow.
Yeah, so this is we're getting close.
Oh, Bulma's so excited to get a boyfriend.
Oh yeah, the
And I
ultimate
mean-
payoff.
Girl, I hear you. So guys, this is really great. I'm so glad we're finally doing this again.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
been-
the
it's
fans
been too
are happy. I think big shouts out to Addison, who's stalking us and like looking at our photos and just looking at my beautiful face and is like very jealous about it. I'm happy about that. I mean, I just think about causing him pain and it just makes me so happy. So anyway, guys, good times. You're all beautiful, and I can't wait for the next episode.
Yeah, we'll see you soon.
Adios, buddies.
Rock and roll.
Oh, see you later.